All right. Eva Marie from Eva Under. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, friend. How are you?
I am doing all right as well. Dude, the last time we talked about mental health, and that was
Yeah,
fun. And
yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to that point. But since then, you have had a new album come out, Love, Drugs, and Misery. You've been out on tour doing a bunch of festivals. I just got to know how has it been out on the road? What's it like playing these big stages?
It's like so surreal. I feel like if we hadn't closed down the world for 2 years, it would still feel surreal, but in light of that situation, it's like even more I can't describe my level of elation over this whole thing, man. It's been such a cool, like what a beautiful experience, like to be bonding over other music and a bunch of our friends now that we've been able to meet, with touring and stuff like that. It's like these big festivals are just one giant family reunion,
Mhm.
and then a lot of people have also been holding on to music, so this is a huge music, but like release time frame. I feel like, we just went on tour with the Nothing More guys, and so like when we were out with them and asking Alexandria and Treyu, it was prior to our record release, prior to their album release as well. So now we've both got new music, and we were just able to hang out yesterday. We played a show here in Michigan at the Machine Shop. So it's just a great time. I mean, and the crowds, holy crap, the crowds, they're ready.
Yeah, I bet. But let's just go back quick because I've been curious about this because we do talk to bands that have stuff in the works and then they're here on tour and stuff. What do you do like when you're like you've got all this stuff, you got 13 tracks, 12 tracks ready to go, but like you can't play any? Like what's the idea behind that?
Are you talking about just like when you
Well,
go to
like
release a new record,
yeah, like
prior
you
to it coming out?
right. Like you're out on tour and like the album hasn't come out yet. Like, do you just like all guns blazing, throw out a bunch of the new stuff or what? How do you decide
Sometimes.
here? Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't know if we do it the right way, right? We're new here, but like we definitely play stuff before it's out on the actual album. Yeah, so um we have the there's a setup process, from before the album's even released. And so obviously when we've written the songs and we agree upon the album, then we start rehearsing the album. And so we had a little bit of an extended period of time to do that this
Hmm.
time, um, with the state of the world. So by the time we were able to go out on tour, we were like, yeah, screw it. We're playing all our favorites. Like we're playing all the good stuff. We did throw in though, because it was our first tour, we wanted to respond to fans who had always been in to Eva Under Fire from the very beginning. And so we played fan favorite off our old album, which was Until Forever. And so we definitely threw in some stuff that people would know,
Hmm.
that was like top Spotify stuff,
Sure, sure.
and it was cool to see because like people by that point, Blow had been out on streaming platforms for a while, and so people were excited about it. But then we would go to play Until Forever as the closer, and you would just see people's eyes light up. Oh man, they're playing this one! They're like,
Sure, sure.
cool. I love this song. It's one of the first songs I heard by them. We are like, yeah, we know.
So the album's out and what's the reaction like for that you've been getting with the shows that you've been playing and everything?
It was crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Can I just tell you? So
Please
so
do.
we were we were at Louder Than Life, right? You mentioned a couple of festivals. All right. We did Louder Than Life this year, which was incredible. And so we were like, riding the high of just being able to play this massive festival. And like we met up with all of our friends there. And so like on our way in, we saw the crew from Nothing More and like all the crew from a whole bunch of other bands we had just met. Hey,
Hmm.
what's up, Hailstorm? I'm hanging out the window. What's up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're just like, this is such a cool festival, and then like at the end of that night, we were driving home, like through the night we drove home because it was just a few hours from where we were at. We were like, well, we don't want to like, foot the bill for a hotel. So we're just
Hmm.
going to drive home. On our way home, it hits midnight and we're looking at our phones and we're seeing like because the record came out, the album's out now. So we were like, okay, we just want to see how we did. Number one in rock and metal for Love, Drugs, and Misery. And every couple hours we'd check it and it just stayed there.
Yeah.
We were like, what is happening? We're new here. Like we didn't even know that this was going to be a thing. So it was a really, really cool, uh, like what a moment, for all of us to
Yeah.
be like in our little van driving home from a massive show. And then we just so happen to check our phones and see that our album's number one,
That
we're like, hey.
that
So
is
we
so
definitely
cool.
like, yeah, we couldn't stay. We definitely like nobody went to sleep after that. We were just like pumped. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Candy store.
Sure. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, let's talk about the album, Love, Drugs, and Misery. It's a great album front to back, a lot of fun to listen to, and, like, a lot of different like, it kicks off with Blow, and, which we all know very well, did very well in the charts. I think you got in the top 10, right?
Yeah, yeah, there was like a moment, right? There
Yeah.
was like a moment for number 10, but we were like, but we're hanging on to that. So yes, we went top 10.
Yes, alright. And it's a powerful album, your voice really stands out. Tell me about the writing process. What did you, dig through for emotions, ideas, themes, things like that for, coming up with the lyrics?
Yeah, it was a cool thing. It was a very frustrating thing at first, because we're like, it's the first time that we've done a project like this for an like a label where it was gonna be, like released worldwide kind of thing. Everything else that we'd written before that was just like us in our little,
Mhm,
Southeast Michigan basement.
mhm.
And so this was the first time that we were like, we felt the pressure. Um, but I think because of that, it kind of forced us into, new spaces that we didn't realize were there. And we kind of, a couple of things that came out of that. One of them was Blow, it's kind of just a take your brain out and have fun with it kind of song.
Mhm.
And so that's, we were very much used to writing for like, a vibe and having emotional music and emotional lyricism and meaningful things, but having fun is meaningful,
Mhm.
and taking your brain out sometimes can be really cool too. Just having a good time with a four on the floor rock song. But then we did also do, I think, a really great job of sticking with our rock and roll roots, and so there's lots of really cool solos on the album.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so we wanted to bring that too because yeah, I mean, not only do we have a music guitarist, but his inspiration is from all of the 80s awesome musicians that are like icons. That's where he learned to play. So very much throws back to our who inspired us. Yeah, so I think it was a interesting ride. We went through a lot of emotions just because of the gravity of the situation. So
Mhm.
I think it brought out the best.
Absolutely. There's one song in particular I wanted to talk about. It's Heroin with the
Yeah.
parentheses on there. It sounds like it being tied to someone that you wanted to save, but you couldn't save, and they were just kind of being an anchor. Tell me about that song and what it was like to release those words.
That was a weird moment for me. It was like I took a page out of like my most like cherished hidden diary, right? And just like displayed it for the world. So I don't know how much you know about my backstory, but the reason why I'm really into psychology and therapy and really meaningfully connecting with other people, um, got a lot of substance abuse in my family. I'm one of the only people in my immediate family that has not struggled themselves, but like almost everybody that I love has been affected in some way, right? And so this
Mhm.
is not just my story, but like my bandmates too. I mean, a lot of the guys are also they have like a parent's been affected, a brother's been affected, like somebody that they know and love. So it was a really crazy time for me because at the time that I wrote that song's about my father. So I had both my parents struggled with substance abuse problems, specifically heroin,
Mm,
and my father lost his fight, and my mother's been 4 years clean. So I have a very interesting perspective going through both of those things. The celebratory victory for my mom, and then the massive loss that punched a hole in my chest at that time when I was penning those lyrics. And so, literally, like I loved my guys for this because they understood the meaning behind it and kind of where I was at. And it was the first song that I'd ever been that emotional, like writing. Like there was no way to stop that Niagara Falls, man. Like didn't matter who was in the room. I mean, me writing that was like, and I'm the oldest kid in my family. So like when my father needed something, someone, he would call me. And I was like, I'm not I can't do this.
right.
What am I supposed to do with this? You're the parent.
Hmm.
You know, what do you want me to do? Right? I'm supposed to save you. And so it wasn't just being hero, right? It was being heroine because I'm a woman and
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with this, right? And so it had this so much context, behind that song. And then the chorus is just very raw, I can't save you, I can't change you. This isn't, so like screaming it at your person, so but as I'm in the basement of the studio writing this song, that people, they just kind of like left me with a tissue box and like let me have my moment, and then
Hmm.
they were like texting each other like, let me know when she's okay. Right, we can come back whenever she's ready,
Right, right, right.
like tried to give me my space to go through that. But um I was so close to me. I didn't even know if it was going to make the album. It
Yeah.
wasn't written for a catchy hook. It wasn't something that I felt like it was. That was my soul. That's what it was. And so I'm so grateful when we play that live, I get choked up seeing people sing that one with me. That's a moment.
That is, I love that, and I love that you're able to have put that down and that it made the album and that you perform it live because I think it is a really important message. And like you said, it wasn't written as like a hook and like a dance type of tune. It was very raw, and that's why I brought it up because you go through your album and you've got your jams, you got your hooks and stuff, and then this song kind of just is oh, like, oh, there's something going on.
I love that you felt that weight almost like immediately, like this is something different. This is real. This is she must have went through something. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's exactly what it was. And so I think that's I'm really grateful to hear that that was the response.
Yeah, music is just so powerful. It is words, but it speaks for an emotion that like a lot of I'm a straight white male, so I don't know how to emote most of the time. So it's nice to have that people are able to do that for us.
You're a very aware white male that speaks about it on freaking radio stations. So good on you,
There we
because
go.
you talk about things, and that's what it is. And so some
Hmm.
people aren't good at words though. And
Hmm.
so when you take somebody like me that's like in lyrics, or you take somebody like you that's in radio, and words are like our thing. So but sometimes depending on what you're talking about, people lose their words. What do you say to somebody that's got experienced a massive amount of grief and loss, or like that they've gone through some things, or it's very difficult because it's complicated? And what do we say in those gray areas? And
Right.
that's where I think music speaks loudest.
Absolutely, dude. You're preaching to the choir on that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Let's shift gears a little bit because otherwise we're just going to go down a rabbit hole of just talking about sad shit, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
So, of all the stuff that um you've we've seen you guys do in the last year or so, what is the biggest shining moment other than releasing the album and seeing it hit number one? Obviously, that is freaking awesome. But like, what is like the one moment of this past 365 that you look back and you're like, you know, a 15-year-old Eva is looking at me and thinking that's what I want to do.
When Lizzie Hale had me sing Rock Show with her on stage at an amphitheater in North Carolina to 4,000 people.
Oh my God.
Right? Can I? Right? Like, I don't even think you expected me to say that, but like, this is my reality, dude. I
Hmm.
don't even know what's happening. So here's the short version. We get to it's just two shows that we had with Hailstorm. One of them was a rescheduled date. The other one was because Lilith, who we're now friends with,
Hmm.
couldn't make the show. So they called and said, "Oh, you guys want to open?" We're like, absolutely. Right. So and I'm just an insane fan of that woman's voice. Lizzie's voice is just she's icon.
Oh yeah.
They just get up there and like do that every
Hmm.
time. So we get there, we load in, we're at catering, I'm eating soup, right? And I hear them start in their acoustic set. I've never heard them perform the song live because it's kind of one of their older jams and it's a little bit of a fan favorite, but like it's nothing that it like really like they push anymore. It's from the early days. So
Hmm.
I freaked out, right? Dropped my soup. I'm like, let's go, and it's they're just sound checking. But I'm like the only one in the audience watching the sound check right now. Losing my mind because I know that it's Rock Show. It's one of my favorite songs.
Hmm.
So Joe finds out that it's one of my favorite songs. And then I think somebody else in the band had told them that like at one point I had tried out for like American Idol and I think I sang that song.
Nice.
I love this song, right? It's
Mhm.
just the story, the lyricism in that song. You need to check out Hailstorm Rock Show because it's me, right?
Okay.
Little girl, there you are, all the lighters looking just like stars. It's a girl at a rock show, you know, and I'm like, this is where I fell in love, right?
Mhm.
So they get up on stage, they played a double set that night. So I was like, they're just they gotta be dog tired, man. They
Mhm.
played like 2.5 hours of music. But they got this song going, and I was surprised that they got to it because the weather was sort of threatening. We weren't even sure how far along they were going to get, right? But
Mhm.
they ended up playing the song. So I get my phone out and I'm like excited, you know, I'm standing side stage. My parents are behind me, by the way, my
Oh,
mom
wow.
and my stepdad, right?
Yeah.
So we're really, and they're huge Hailstorm fans. So then I got my phone, and Joe comes over and he's playing his guitar and he just does this giant head motion,
Mhm.
and and then he does it again, and my mom behind me is like, "They're calling you to the stage." It was crazy. Never a day in my life did I feel like they would just pull me on stage to sing with Lizzie, but it was an incredible experience. They gave us just a massive shout out. It was made my life. I mean, it was just the coolest thing. How unexpected,
Right.
how just no rehearsal, no nothing. They just were like, "Let's have fun with this, you know, and let's bring her up." It was incredible.
That is so cool. That is that, yeah, I feel proud knowing you and, like,
Thank you.
having seen that, like, I feel like a proud parent right now.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
know, right? You're
weird.
like, look at my baby friend in the rock music. Look at how
Right?
cool they are.
Oh,
Right.
that's
Yeah. No,
awesome.
it definitely felt like that. Definitely felt like that. It was intense, very intense.
That is so awesome. Before I let you go, I wanna know what your, what do you envision happening in the near future, and what kinda cool plans you guys got going on?
Oh man, 2023 is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So, we are throwing ourselves before the end of 2022 a massive hometown album release party at a venue that we've been playing at since we were kids. So it's going to be so fun. I think we already have 600 tickets sold. Like it's
Dang.
going to be crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's going down here in Michigan at Token Lounge. It's the 19th of November. And then that we just played yesterday. I told you a sold out machine shop show with
Mhm.
nothing more. And so what on the eve of the new year, we'll be also haven't announced it yet, but I guess I'll just drop it here. We're playing with our buddies in State of Mind. We're going to be at the machine shop again for some sold out shows in January. And then hopefully, because after I went on stage with Lizzie Hale, she texted me and said we need to tour together. So I don't know.
Hopefully.
Right. Let's
I
all keep our fingers crossed, shall we?
Right. I am definitely manifesting that
Oh,
into
appreciate you.
existence for you.
Yes, yes, yes. We should all manifest simultaneously. It will happen. It will
Yes,
happen.
yes, there we
Yeah,
go.
thank you so much.
You bet. Well, Eva, dude, thank you so much for coming in and chatting. I love the album. Love Drugs and Misery. It's great. It's so much
Oh,
fun to listen to.
dude, thank you so much.
Eh,
You were early to the party, man.
we were,
It's
we
awesome.
were,
Thank you for that.
yeah. And hopefully you guys will come around here sometime soon.
Yes, yes. Like I said, I'm either gonna like get on the horn and like book our own tour because we're getting stir crazy, or we're just gonna like try to hop on with whoever lets us on because
But
we need to get out. Playing shows is just so much fun for us. So hopefully we'll see you soon.